Hello and welcome to Wednesday afternoon with Anil. How is everybody doing today? Why did I go sing song? Hello everyone. Why did I go sing song? Oh, have I got something unmuted? Is something unmuted, Anil? Oh, have I got? Yes, it is. Right. Ha. Yes, I just noted that. Suffice to say, it's been a little bit of a day today. Apologies for the delay in going live. We had some slight technical issues behind the scenes. Not least of which was I'd forgotten to reconnect my Twitch account, or at least the RQ Twitch account, after the abortive attempt on Saturday to try and stream on my own account. But hello, we are all set now. How is everybody? Yeah, Drod Cup. Whoops. The joys of attempting to be a dual channel streamer. One day I will probably have my channel set up properly for separate streaming adventures. But alas, this week is not that week. So, hello, my name is Anil. If you have not been here before, I am the community manager for Rusty Quill. We are a podcasting company and entertainment network. Or the other one around, an entertainment company and podcasting network, putting out a number of shows each week, details of which you can find over on our website at www.rustyquill.com. What we are doing here today is RQ Streams, a project which is supported by you, the very generous viewers and supporters of our various endeavours. Without your ongoing support, we couldn't do bonus things, ancillary things like this, like moving into video. So it is very much thanks to all of you that we get the chance to do it. Show my own maybe. I would like to. I mean, there's not enough slots on RQ streams for me to do everything I want to do. I have such a huge backlog of games. But we will see. My time is very much accounted for right now. Oh, thank you very much, Plants and Bees. Yes, I am wearing one of the... can you see that? Yes. I am wearing one of the new merch designs that you can get over at our Redbubble store. This is the new Panopticon design from our graphical artist Annika Khan, bearing the logo, or the logo of the Magnus Institute. Which is part of the Magnus Archive, one of the shows that we put out. You can support us in a number of ways, either by direct donation, in the link down below, or !donate, by subscribing to us here on Twitch. There is a little button up there somewhere, which you can click. And we are currently in September, which means that you can get, I think it's something like 30% off a brand new sub, either to us or to any other streamers that you may follow. And the streamer will still get the full value of the sub. That's unchanged. Or you can support us over on Patreon at patreon.com/rustyquill, where you will get a variety of bonuses and bonus materials and newsletters and such related to the shows that we put out. Right, admin done with. Water. Sorry, yes, Plants and Bees. September does sound very fake. Let's call this March 8th March, 6th March, something like that. It's the 6th month of March, yes. So, if you've not caught an RQ streams before, what are we doing here? We are here to try and introduce people to the world of gaming, to introduce you to new genres, new games, new styles that you might not have considered before, even if you consider yourself an experienced gamer. There are plenty of things that we would like to showcase, maybe get you to try something new, or if you've never done so, find an inroad into the wonderful world of gaming and all the benefits and opportunities that come thereof. today. So that what that will usually mean is that we're going through like introductory experiences, tutorials, getting to grips with how a beginner would interact and interface with a game. That's not quite what we're going to do today, because we are playing West of Loathing, and this is a game that I have been playing on and off on my stream since April. I think April is when I started this. And fingers crossed, today's going to be the final session. It's probably about time that I moved on to a new game, or well, new games obviously, but a new game to put onto the extended play rota, because there's obviously value in seeing a game through to its end to showcase, development and how game styles change and differ, and also, the various storylines and such that you can impose upon yourself when you are playing a game. Thank you very much, Edgemar, for the tier 1 resub. Second month. Woohoo! Let's go for March again. No, it is probably the 155th day of March, Daytime Ghosts. I've not been keeping that accurate a calendar. Hello, hello. Oh, wow. Okay. My eyes. Right. So what we are going to do today is, as I said, we're going to move to West of Loathing. Now, for those of you who haven't seen, you can catch up with the first few installments. I think there's 6 or 7 sessions of this game so far. They are over on our YouTube channel. Maybe not the very last one, but definitely the first lot over on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Rusty Quill. You'll get to see the adventures of Lena Tumbleweed, who is our bean slinger. So let's move to the game, and we'll take you through what we have been doing. And it's a blank screen. Great. So let's up the audio a bit. Oh, thank you very much, One Rule. Yeah, I've missed this. Hopefully, we are going to complete this today, and this is what our character is. So, Lena Nice Tumbleweed is a bean slinger. We command the mystical arts, and we are masters of the. We are masters of spells to do with beans, notably Lava Father and the Great Northern Blizzard. As you can see, I've got my spells over on the right here. Game is silent. Can people hear me? Very low. Okay, let me whack the game volume up. Just the game. Sigh. Is that any better? I can hear me and the game is just quiet. Okay, let me put the game volume up a little bit. Right, okay, there we go. So, this is our character. Keen watchers, Evil Auntie, this is the base game. I haven't put the DLC in for this game as yet. So keen viewers or regular viewers of this game will notice that we have had a little bit of an upgrade. I have been doing a bit of grinding off camera, just to get some of my stats up ready for the end game. I've maxed out my Lava Father, my Great Northern Bean. I've maxed out a number of my skills, notably outfoxing, safe cracking, and lockpicking. You will notice, however, that my stats are probably a little bit on the low side, notably muscle and grit. And this is because we agreed right at the beginning that we were going to go for a glass cannon kind of build. So we set ourselves a couple of role-playing restrictions. Glamour over everything. We want to try and look fabulous when we are out and about. But we also said that our physical stats, so that's muscle and grit, can't be more than 1/3 of our other stats. So muscle can't be more than 1/3 of our mysticality and our moxie. Similarly, grit can't be more than 1/3 of gumption and glamour. The only problem is, in order to raise my glamour to 9, I would need 1300 XP, and that's a lot of grinding. And I've done quite a bit, but not quite enough to get that up as well as all of my skills. We also said that goblins are friends, especially given that we can speak goblin tongue. And we said that snakes are friends, and we don't kill snakes unless it is in self-defense. So, as I said, we are going through to what I'm hoping is going to be endgame today. Now, in doing so, I've had to complete, or at least go through a large chunk of one of the subplots that we have not seen on camera. Something that is known as the El Vibrato storyline. I'm not going to showcase any of you, but you can see some weird looking machines in the front of this scene here, and that's to do with that storyline. I'm not really going to go into that now. Suffice to say, if you want to see what it is, you can pick up the game and maybe play through it yourself to find out that mystery. But I needed to do it in order so that we can do our assistant, that's Doc Alice, who is here with the bottle, in order to complete her storyline. Notably, the fact that a necromancer killed her family. And we are going to try and go and deal with the necromancer. So, let's saddle up Joe Spooky and head on out. Where's the door? There we go. This is our horse, Joe Spooky, a ghost horse. So let's go. So I know roughly where I need to go. Where is Hellstrom Farm? I should know where I need to go. Darn it. Where is it? Oh, have I not actually opened up this bit of it? Aha. That's Stern's Ranch. Oh, there we go. Hellstrom Ranch. No, I had opened it up. That's fine. So, that's the portal. Yeah, so somewhere around here, we are going to find... actually, let me go to here. So what we found previously is we have a necromancer's journal. So it's a collection of the clues that you've acquired in your search for the necromancer's home base. Yeah, just a random portal to hell, full of cows. You open your necromancer journal and examine the information you've collected so far. You've narrowed the location down to a few possibilities by interpreting data about ley lines. It was very clever of you. Sure was. The cryptic note you found about hell cow energy indicates the necromancer's lair is somewhere fairly close to Hellstrom Ranch. Yep. Your knowledge of mushrooms, combined with the carelessness of the necromancer's mushroom gathering cultists, allowed you to narrow down the location to a strip of land between the Big Canyon and the mountains between there and Dirtwater. Indeed. And you found a note with the magic word required to enter the tower. Once you find it, abracadabra! Boo. So this gives us that it is somewhere in this vicinity. So we're probably just going to have to wander and try and find it. Let's grab a can. Where's the mushrooms? Let's see if we head to the shroom cave. Okay, we get some more. It might just take us a reasonable out. Oh, ooh, hang on. You run into a goblin chef. You can tell they're a chef by their hat and their big fork. Well, I guess either they're a chef or they've recently eaten a chef. Hey, hello, a human, hey! Hello, a goblin. Looking for tuna, seeing it? Tuna? This being the desert, no tuna here for miles. What you say? Tuna is local delicacy. Well, we've said that goblins are friends. Welcome, Kazieka. Tuna? You mean a fish? Swimming thing? Crazy human. A tuna isn't swimming. This is a desert. Where it to swimming? Well, yeah, that's my point. A tuna is round and green with red knobs. Pokey spines having. Oh, some kind of cactus. Like a prickly pear or something. Yes. Duh. Outfox them. Alright, well, not seeing any tuna, but giving me big fork and I'll helping you look. Okay. Anyway, I having spares. Hunt for tuna. The goblin gives you a tuna fork and the two of you hunt around for a while until you find a stand of prickly pears, aka tunas. It turns out the fork is necessary because tuna pricklers are tiny, barbed and absolute bastards. We've got tuna fork and XP. I don't think we can go through the portal, can we? No. Oh yeah, that'll get us a cow if we wanted to. So, well, we don't really have a lot of muscle, so we can't do that. Open that. Ooh, we got a chest full of medals. Interesting. Oh, not now. As you ride across the lonely desert, a scrap of paper blows into your field of view. You grab it and discover that it's a half-finished crossword puzzle. We solve it! You deftly fill in the answers to the rest of the clues and responsibly deposit the puzzle in a nearby appropriate trash receptacle. A gulch. Sure. No. Actually, you know what? What I might do is take off... menu options. No. Where is it? Stupid walking. No. Huh. I thought there was a way we could turn off our... Oh, no, that's an item in order to... Oh, actually, do I still have that item? Offhand things. What have we got? Ah, there we go. The ring of getting places faster. Remind me to put the goblin glass ring on when we get to our destination, chat. Because I wanted to cut down on the amount of random things. Might take a little while, unfortunately. Come on. Ooh. Off to one side of the desert trail, a skeleton is sitting in the shade of a rocky ridge. Looks like some poor traveller must have succumbed to the heat. As you move closer to investigate, it appears that the skeleton is holding a book, and then you get close enough to see that it's a copy of Longfellow's translation of Dante's Divine Comedy. You notice the skeleton is in fact reading it, turning the pages and making little notes in the margins with a pencil. Excuse me, you're in my light. Ah! Talking skeleton! Sorry, took me by surprise. We can fight him, surrender, or ask him about his book. Yeah, he's a grad student. Oh, hey, Nightbites. Let's ask him about the book. The Divine Comedy. That's about heaven and hell and so on, right? Mm-hmm. Is it accurate? I'm making corrections. You know, most skeletons I meet just sort of hiss and attack me. Because you won't leave them alone while they're reading. I assumed it was more because of them being rabid, mindless automatons. Lena! You might find out how rabid I can be if you don't stop bugging me. Seriously though, how do you talk without lungs? I don't know. How do you talk without a brain? Well, gee, that's mean. Go away. Okay. We'll leave him be. And he seems grateful. Okay. We'll leave that alone. Ooh, translate them. No, not. Ha. Let's see if this finds us anything. No. No. Come on, game. Give us the thing we want. There's a space here where there should be something. Okay, I'm just going to quickly look something up because I have a walkthrough for this game. And I just want to see what it says about the tower. Reboot cemetery. If you think you have everything but aren't finding it, we've got the password. Go somewhere near Hellstrom, inspect all items and read your book. Right, okay. Let's go and inspect our items again. Let's head here. You encounter the ghost of a dead cowboy who is wailing and gnashing his teeth and generally seeming very frustrated about how his life has gone. Or more likely, how it stopped going. Well, I'm not going to give up, so we're going to fight him. And hope that we don't have a problem. So here is combat, for those who haven't seen it before. We have a spell, which we are going to cast on them. We will shoot with Doc Alice. God, everything is hitting so hard because we have so little muscle. Thankfully that gets rid of that. Okay, so let's have a look at what we have got. Let's go back through our key items and see what we have got. So we've got the gore splattered scroll. Oh, that was for the Ah, right, okay, maybe this is what I needed. You read over the receipt again. Who need that many robes? You stick the receipt in your necromancer's journal. Yeah. Marching orders. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that was note from Curly. Oh yeah, we've done that. Aha, that's added something to our necromancer's journal. Okay. So you've opened your necromancer journal, examined the information collected so far. You found a receipt for delivery of robes. Looking at it more closely, you see there's a surcharge for delivery past Boulder Pass. That means the necromancer's lair is definitely west of the mountains. Okay, so we've got the ley lines near the ranch and the mushrooms. Big canyon and the mountains between there and Dirtwater. Aha! You've got it! You finally got enough information to pinpoint the precise location of the necromancer's lair. Ah, thank you very much for the walkthrough. And I will take another drink. So. Right. Huzzah! Indeed. And we've got the magic word. Right. So, let's... Aha! We have the forbidding necromancer's tower. Let's go and try and complete Alice's quest. Ew. That's a lot of bones, people. Not gonna lie. That is a lot of bones. The skull above the door screams, "Password!" Abracadabra! There is a click inside the door as it unlocks. Make no bones about it, that's quite a tower. Boo. Boo. And I guess if Mike was having trouble finding out where his bones were on Saturday, I think we've probably found them. Yeah, Brenanza, you're probably right. I don't get to boot. Ooh, what have we got here? Some strange, indecipherable runes. Indecipherable, surely. It's a fountain of blood. Nothing weird about that. No, I am not drinking blood. You're definitely not getting past these guys without a fight. Dive in. That's a lot of skeletons, who all have 140 hit points. Okay. Right. Okay, I'm gonna have to use... oh no. Right, let's summon a bean golem just in case, and then cast this and inflict not a lot of cold damage. Oh no. Now Doc Alice can disable one skeleton at a time. The skeletons pick you up and run you out of the tower on a rail, which is actually a spine. You gain the effect Angie, and you get so angry about losing that fight, you pass out. Okay, so I hadn't reckoned on that fight being so tough. Bryn says, I don't think you can beat that fight. No. Shy Magpie, is there another entrance? No. Oh. See, the walkthrough didn't actually say. I didn't look to see like if it told anything about the. Oh, do you think we've got to drink the blood? Oh, that could give us a boost. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, let's try that again. Let's see if drinking the blood actually does something for us. And if that, then okay, we I mean, that's strictly not quite the case, Gladiolus. Although we don't die, we just pass out. Let me see if I've got anything I can drink or eat. Oh, I need to put my ring back on as well. The Goblin Glass Ring. Because that ups my mysticality, yeah. Food and drink. Your food. How much have I got? I could make. I could eat a ghost pickle. Make me difficult to damage for the rest of the day. Hardtack. I can only eat one thing though, so let's go and check out what the blood does. I've got 3 ghost pickles. We can. No, necromancer, please. It's a fountain of blood. Nothing weird. The blood is delicious, like meaty Kool-Aid. You gain an effect, dark-blooded. Well, I mean, that's given us 30 XP here. I think I am going to eat the... let's eat the ghost pickle. We gain ghost pickled. You eat the pickle, you think. It's hard to tell on account of it only being the ghost of a pickle. And that's all my stomach done. Let's see. Melee. Muscle. Speed. Got lots of speed. So it's gin. Decent whiskey I need to save. Flemish malt. I'm going to drink one of those. Drink it. I need to keep that. Keep that. I need to keep that. I need to keep anything that ups my mysticality and my moxie for now. Let's drink. Actually, no, because if I'm going to do the ending today as well, let's see what we get. Right, dive in. Oh wow, thank you very much, Quintastic. Oh, Quinn, for gifting 5 gift subs to the community. So welcome to the channel, Wrong Socks, Evil Auntie, The Real Annabelle, Zent7 and Eula's Number, courtesy of Quintastic. That is very much appreciated. Thank you so much. So let's see how this goes now. I've got slightly more on here. Cast this. Cast this. Let's get rid of one of them. Let's see if this will keep me alive long enough in order to... Harder to hit does not mean impossible to hit. It just means it takes 2 hits to knock me out instead of 1. Okay. Oh no. It looks like our glass cannon build has meant that we can't actually complete the Necromancer storyline. Oh, that's a shame. They are indeed some very strong bones, Echima. Well, I don't necessarily want to like subvert our playthrough principles just for that. So what shall we do? What shall we do? Could grind time, but it's not really. Grind time isn't really going to be much fun for you guys to watch, because it's basically just a lot of seeking out enemies in order to just to beat them all up. So, Fixer says, cup of milk, let's rock and roll, those bones are strong, we'll be stronger. Because the reality is, if we're going to stick to our principles and not have muscle and grit higher than 1/3 of our other stats, trying to get these up to the point where we actually have a decent amount of hit points to work with is going to be a long time. You watch Gronny grind in Bloodborne, it's cool. Yeah, I know. Though Bloodborne, it's more fundamental to the nature of the game, I feel. So basically we've got 2 options. We can either forgo our rules and just boost our hit points and our muscle, or we can move to the final part of the... Sorry, for me the volume is a little loud, so I'm going to I'm just going to knock this back down a bit. I hope that doesn't make it too quiet for you guys. Just more points rather than a strict ratio. Yeah. Okay, let's change it up to we can be half and see if that helps us. If it doesn't, then what we'll do is we'll move to endgame. We'll move to the final bit of the game. We'll close up a little bit early, and maybe either start something else or turn this into an AMA of some sort. Because to be honest, it's been a bit of a week, and my health hasn't been brilliant this week. So let's see if we've got enough to take us to half. So that would be 6. Let's take that to 4. That only puts us up to 85 hit points though. And if they're doing like 50 a punch, That's still not good enough. Yeah. Okay, let's push. Let's push this. Oh, Gladiolus. The principal thing was a personal challenge thing. Just like part of the RP of it all. So I've got 200 XP. That's going to give me maybe 2 more grit upgrades if I pushed it, which will only get us to about 100 or so HP, which still isn't going to be good enough because they will still take us out in two hits. Okay, so what I'm going to do is yeah, we've only been going for 41 minutes, that's fine. What I'm going to do is, I think, as I say, I think everyone has had a pretty good yeah, Brenanza, unfortunately some games will not let you do anything but max fighting skills if you want to beat them. Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take us to endgame, and let's see an ending for this. If folks who have been here before will remember that we went to Frisco and ran into Emperor Norton, who wanted a crown, and then absconded with the train while we weren't looking. So we are trying to find the train and defeat Emperor Norton. Now I have, with the aid of the thing, found out a way for us to potentially do this without having to go through all the trial and error bits. So let us see what I need to do. I need to just check my stats because I'm going to need 50 and a bunch of things in order to do this. So I need to up my Mysticality and Moxie by 10 each. What do I have that will do that? No, come on, inventory. There we go. Aha, I can eat something else though now, which is going to be useful. Muscle and Moxie by 3. Muscle by 5. Moxie by 6. So with that, Muscle Moxie by 3, Muscle by 5. That increases Moxie but deletes Muscle and Mysticality. That ups my Mysticality by 6. Ooh. Okay, let's eat some roasted cow tongue. Eat that. You eat the tongue. Try not to think about the fact that you're basically French kissing a cow as hard as possible. Ew. You gain an effect speaking in tongues. You feel a spike of pain in your stomach. Blech. So that's given us 46. I now need to up my Moxie by 10 and my Mysticality by 4. Moxie by 3. What's my maximum Moxie? Aha, 7. Right, so drink. I think that's. Ooh, mead is 11. Also Mysticality by 5, so I'll take one of that. So the agave nectar will up that. You drink the agave nectar and it makes you want to jump. You gain an effect. Hagaz agave here. Oh. Ooh, Elvabratus. Aha. That also ups our maximum AP as well, so I'm going to drink that. You press a button on the side of the flask which makes the cap disappear, which is surprising and amazing. This allows you to drink the seltzer, which is also surprising and amazing. And we gain sparkling. So that gives us 27 muscle, 51 mysticality, and 52 moxie. And we've got the chance to still eat a couple more things. Do we have anything that will up our muscle? No, I'll save other things because in case things. So let's head to Frisco. You're ambushed by a cow who is hiding behind a nearby billboard. Big billboard, big cow. Cool, we are going to fight you. The cow has 155 hit points. That is a big cow. Oh boy. Bean Golem. Let's get some sacrificial hit points. And let's deal 91 damage to it. Let's shoot it and hope that I can survive one hit. Hey! Good. Right. I can survive a hit because it took out the bean. And there we go. Burnt cow. Beef! It's the cow we kissed boyfriend. Oh no! You made hamburger of that cow. No, I mean, like, figuratively. Maybe I should have chosen a different idiom. I can see now how that might be confusing. Well, we got... Oh, chat. It had 2 tongues. Why did it have 2 tongues? Ew. And we got 339 meat out of it, and 2 lots of tainted milk. Ejima says, for better kissing. Sure, that's why. So let's see what we can do. Oh, it's just identical thing. So, I need to follow the train tracks. Yes, follow the tracks. There we go. You jump on Joe Spooky's back and ride like the wind, following the railroad tracks back into the desert. When you finally catch up, you stand up on Joe Spooky's saddle and leap onto the back of a train like a real badass, just barely catching the edge of the roof and pulling yourself up. Here's hoping you don't have to do that again. Your stuntman could have been killed. Someone's been watching Spaceballs. Looks like Alice decided not to join you on account of not having a stuntman, so you're on your own until you get back to Frisco. Dun dun dun. Atop the stolen train. So, right. So we have Emperor Norton here. So, Emperor Norton. I stole this train fair and square. I'm not giving it back. You're feeling neither fair nor square. Let's climb into the car and see what we can do first before we... Aha! It's a locked safe. We crack it. Cargo car key. Yes. Hop off and head back to Freddy. So we can get out of the... This barrel is labelled nubs. This barrel is labelled pickled crackers. This barrel is labelled hand fruit. Let's not go there. This barrel is labelled pickled pig knuckles. Try saying that 5 times fast. Pickled pig knuckles, pickled pig... Ah. Didn't get past 2. Right. It's the door to the next car and it's locked. With unpickable plot brand lock, we unlock it. You hear Norton scurrying forward on the roof. Banditos! These guys look angry and confused. Jump them. Aha, got the jump on them. Oh, well, they don't have much. Boom. Oh. Damn it, I cast the wrong spell. Yeah, there we go. Those guys have burgled their last train. You get 189 XP and get the dining car key. Hooray. Unlock the dining car. Ooh, nice flowers. It's got one of those fancy silver dome things on it. You've never wanted anything more in your life than you want to lift up this dome and see what's under it. But you're not quite sure you can muster the amount of culinary expertise it requires to properly reveal a dish of such presumed quality. Well, we've got 50 mysticality. Et voila! Oh, it's just a cream pie. Shaving cream. What kind of folks are running the food service on this train? You get shaving cream pie. Which does. This is no good to eat, but it's very aerodynamic. Well, we shall see. The table looks like it got jostled around in some kind of scuffle, but the flowers are still standing. This table didn't deserve flowers. The door between the dining car and the sleeper car is welded shut. Okay, climb up. There's Norton. You've got a clear shot at him from here if you want to throw the pie. Yes. Back up. Take that, curses. Ooh, can we do anything? Climb down. Inside the stolen train. A messily scrawled note. The note says, I've hidden the key to the forward passenger car in my luggage to make it easier for me to murder everyone in the sleeper car. Sincerely, the train murderer. P.S. Come to the roof of the sleeper car in the next 55 minutes if you want a murdering. Crazy. One of these sleeping compartments must belong to the murderer. Which maybe it's this first one. You open the door to the first passenger compartment. The sole occupant is a little boy about 10 years old wearing blue suit and knickerbockers. Hello sir, is something wrong? Nothing you need to worry about, kid. I'm on the trail of a bad guy. Do you mean a murderer, sir? I'm pretty sure there's one on this train and they don't call me the world's greatest detective for nothing. What's your name, kid? Oh, I probably shouldn't say so. There might be a copyright thing. Indeed. Okay, well, I'm sure I can handle this. Just let me ask you one question, then you should lock your door after I'm gone. I understand, sir. What would you like to know? Are you on the roof of the train? Excuse me? The murderer left a note saying he's on the roof of the train. Are you? No, sir. I'm in my passenger compartment. Right, good. That'll be all. Let's just go and have a look and see what... Without knowing which piece of luggage the key is in, there's nothing you can do. Let's check the second one. You open the door to the second passenger compartment and look inside. There's a portly man in a dapper grey suit with a tiny, meticulously waxed moustache and not, I'd like to clarify, an enormous bushy one. Yes, 6 or 11. Almost certainly that first kid was Conan. Excusez-moi? Is there some way I might be of assistance, monsieur? Sorry to bother you, but there's a murderer on the loose, and I'm checking the passenger compartments. Sacre bleu! This is very serious, mon ami. Allow me to proffer you the use of my little grey cells. I don't know what that means, but no thank you. Let me just ask you one question. Why, certainly, I am at your service, sir. Are you on the roof of the train? The roof of the train, monsieur? Right now? That's right. No. I am here in conversation with you. Good, that's all. You open the door to the third passenger compartment and find nobody inside. Since a note from the murderer said he was going to be on the roof of the train, that means he couldn't be in the passenger compartment. And since there's no one inside this passenger compartment, whoever the compartment belongs to can only be, by process of elimination, on the roof. Which means the person who rented this compartment must be the murderer. Probably, yeah. The only clue you find in here is the luggage ticket, though. It has the number 3 on it. Oh, actually, that's that's very kind of you to say. I will take my 1 year of living in Paris as a grand compliment. Well, plus the X years I spent learning French as a kid. But yeah. Okay, let's check the fourth one just to be on the safe side. The only passenger in this compartment is a middle-aged woman who is writing something in a notebook. She looks up as you enter and greets you with a friendly northeastern accent. Why, hello. Is there something you need, dear? Sorry to bother you, ma'am, and I don't want to alarm you, but there's a murderer on board the train and I'm investigating. A murderer on a train? My goodness, that would be a wonderful premise for my next novel. Sure, why not? Anyway, I need to ask you one question. Go right ahead, dear. According to evidence, the murderer is on the roof of the train. Are you on the roof of the train? No, dear. Alright, thanks for your time. Would you like a meat pie? They're homemade. No thanks. Just having a look at this playing card before you go. Goodbye. Yes, that would be Agatha Christie almost certainly. You find bag number 3. Oh, and get the key. Okay, sure. That was too quick, game. You didn't give me an opportunity. You finally make it to the passenger car. One car back from the locomotive. Which may be confusing if you thought locomotive meant the entire train. So I could just say the engine. Except that also refers to the engine itself. That is the actual steam engine that makes the train go and not just the frontmost car of the train. Anyway, you're in the passenger car. Oh, thank you very much, Kezieka, for redeeming Hydrate. I will do that. 6 for 11. Sherlock Holmes is the murderer, calling it now. Ooh. Should we go up and find out? Suddenly, Norton clambers in the window. He must have dramatically clung to the side of the train in order to reveal at the last minute that he hadn't actually been defeated. Dang it. He runs into the, frontmost car of the train and locks the door. What a jerk. Maybe you could get some of the passengers to help break down the door and arrest him. Maybe you just kick the door down and shoot him until he can't bother anyone anymore. Up to you. Let's go, Can we go back? Let's go up to the roof of the train. Climb up. Let's see. It's the train murderer, as advertised. Let's charge him. Ooh. How to maximize my let's get an ally. Oh, disable the target for 2 turns. Yes, sir. Let's set him on fire. Let's set them on fire again. Let's poison him. And that should put him in range of my lava father. And that's him taken out. Hooray! You put an end to the train murderer's reign of murder. You rifle through his pockets. They're empty except for his luggage tag. Turns out his tag is number 3. Climb down. Let's cartwheel into the front, into the passenger compartment. This professorial-looking guy is frowning at a sheet of paper and occasionally scribbling on it with a pencil, and then erasing what he wrote. Excuse me, can you help me with something? Sorry, I'm busy. Ask my wife, or my daughter. God knows she could do with something to keep her occupied. What are you working on? It's quite academic. I'm sure you wouldn't understand. Try me. So, if you must know, I'm a scholar of foreign antiquities. I'm attempting to resolve this ancient conundrum from the Far East. He shows you a sheet of paper covered with little boxes, some of which have numbers in them. Shall we solve his Sudoku for him? Solve it for him. That's a Sudoku. My little brother thinks they're for babies. What? Look, this box can't be a 3 or a 7 because you've got those there and there, so it has to be a 4. Which means it's a 5 here and a 9 here, and if that's a 9, then this can't be, so it's a 7. This one's a 2. You quickly fill in the rest of the puzzle. Well, damn it, what fun is it if you just solve it for me? Sorry, will you help me break down the door to the engine and arrest the Emperor? Well, I guess I've got nothing better to do now. This woman just ignores you. This guy's totally pranticking, which is a word I made up that means ranting in a frantic panic. Everyone else is ignore him as hard as they can. Talk to him. Hey, buddy, you okay? It's all a lie, we're never going to get Frisco. Frisco probably doesn't even exist. They've been testing to see how long we can survive on complimentary peanuts and bottled water, and now they're driving us into the desert to some kind of government camp. They're going to use our organs to fuel flying machines. They're going to use our organs to fuel alien flying machines. Snap him out of it using percussive maintenance. Ooh, ooh. Oh, sorry. Guess I lost it there for a second. Feel better? He rubs his jaw. Well, yes and no. Listen, we're going to get to Frisco, but first we've got to bust into the locomotive up front and arrest the crazy guy. I need some volunteers. Okay, I'm in. If I have to sit here doing nothing for much longer, I'll probably flip out again. Ooh. This overweight man in a 3-piece suit and bowler hat is probably a banker or something. His eyes are closed and his posture is relaxed, but the clench of his jaw betrays his aggravation. Hi, excuse me. Yes, what is it? A crazy jerk calling himself Emperor Norton has hijacked the train, and I need volunteers to help me bust down the door and arrest him. I see, and? And will you help me? No, I'd really rather not. That sounds quite strenuous. Perhaps even dangerous. Oh, come on, please. No, I don't think so. I'm quite comfortable here, and I prefer to avoid stress. Yes, Jory, PSA. Slapping people who are panicking doesn't actually help. Please do not do this IRL. Yes, do not hit people. Yes, Hollis Hayworth. Emperor Norton was a real person. He's got a very, very interesting backstory in the history of the Americas. Pretty please? Again, no, I'm supposed to avoid things that might raise my blood pressure. Well, that's fair. Pretty please with sugar on top? Sugar is one of those things. Pretty please with gravy on top? Gravy is another. Look, please just leave me alone. Please, 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 please. No. Please, 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 please. No. Please, 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 please. Stop that. Please, 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 please. I said no. Stop asking. You're really getting on my nerves. Please, 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 I'll stop asking if you say yes. No, damn it. Okay, well, let's give up. This woman is focusing on her knitting and ignoring the general commotion. She must have been knitting the whole trip because the scarf she's made could accommodate a whole marching band. Excuse me, ma'am. Whatever it is, I want no part of it. I keep myself to myself, and I have no desire to get involved. Thank you very much. Oh, come on, this is important. A crazy guy stole the train and I need help arresting him or you'll never get to Frisco. I'm sure everything will sort itself out in the end. And in the meantime, I have plenty of wool. Oh, hey, Nico. This interaction film. No, we're more, So which one of us is Lena and which one of us is the banker in that instance? Oh yeah, Charcoal said that. Appeal to her pride, outfoxing 5. Ma'am, is that your daughter? Yes, she is. What about her? What would you like her memory of this absurdly long train ride to be? That her mother was a hero who helped stop the bad guy? Or that she sat powerlessly, knitting while the menfolk did everything? What sort of role model would you prefer to be? That is tantamount to emotional extortion, young man. It's your choice, ma'am. Ugh, fine. Well, it is emotional extortion. Okay, good. This man is too busy ignoring his daughter to not ignore you. This little girl is peering out of the window of the train, clearly bored out of her mind. Hi there, busy? No, all my toys and friends are in our luggage and it's boring and I hate it. Do you want to help me deal with something really important? Huh? Like what? Well, a bad guy took over the engine car and I need some people to help me break down the door and arrest him. What? Mister, I'm just a little girl. You tell him. Hey now, that's not a good attitude. Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do anything just because you're a girl. But, okay. We'll bust that crook's face in. Wow, that's the spirit. But you gotta pay me in advance. Geez, you're learning a little too fast. Alright, what do you want? I like stuffed animals. Okay. Do we give her the large bear, the large cat, the large owl, the small bear, the small kitten, or the small owl? Yeah, it's the little part that's the barrier, not the girl part. Which one of the tough stuffed toys should we give her? The large owl. Burb. Do we give her the burb? A large one so she's shielded. Kitty. Large owl for representation. Owl bear. Okay, let's give the big owl. A big plush owl? Wow, she's great. She takes the owl and gives it a big hug. Okay, mister, say the word and we'll show that jerk what for. Awesome. This bird is flipping through a book titled Birds of the Western Territory. Since most of the place is desert, it is a very long book. Excuse me, ma'am. Yes? A crazed psycho has taken over the train's engine and I need volunteers to help break down the door and arrest him. Oh my. I certainly couldn't be of any help with that. I'm very conflict averse. What if I told you he hates birds and is determined to outlaw them from the territory after he seizes power? That's very sly, but I know you're only saying that because you saw the book I was reading. Yeah, you got me there. Any other ideas to convince me? Suddenly, you hear a tapping at the passenger car window. What the? Russell! You open the window and your pet crow Russell flaps in and perches on your shoulder. Oh, that was the bird we freed in the very first episode. The very first thing we did. Hey, buddy, good to see you. Caw. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful crow. Do not open the crow. No. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful crow. And he knows you. Oh sure, me and Russell go way back, right buddy? Caw! I rescued him from a cat when he was only just out of the nest and raised him as a pet. I set him free when I left home recently. But what is he doing here? Has he been following you since then? No, he probably just happened to be flying by and spotted me on the roof of the train and recognised me. Crows are crazy smart like that. That's amazing. Oh, what I wouldn't have to have an avian friend like that. Well, I'm still going to be doing a lot of travelling after this, I figure, so I can't really drag Russell along with me. But I bet Russell wouldn't mind being pals with the nice lady in Frisco who helped save the trade. What do you think, Russ? Russell caws again and flaps over to perch next to the lady. He lightly pecks at her shoulder in a friendly manner. Caw! My goodness, how could I refuse? It's a pleasure to meet you, Russell. My name's Annabelle. Awesome, I'll let you know when we're ready. Well, that's a good number of the people recruited. It's the door to the locomotive. Let's confront Norton. Yeah, Gladiator, I would absolutely cry if a crow did that to me. There's some really good stories about crows and how they interact with humans, and particularly, show them some kindness and then get all manner of like gifts and presents in return. You pound on the door to the locomotive, or engine car, or cab, or whatever. Open up, Norton! No! I've forgotten what voice I used for Norton. I should have looked this one up. What voice should we go with him? No! Alright then, I'm coming in. Oh yeah? You and what army, tough guy? You glance back at the passengers. Me and this army! At least 3 passengers. Yay! You and the passengers break down the door very impressively, though it would have been even better if you'd had some torches and those old-fashioned rakes. Norton has backed up into the corner of his engineer's compartment next to the engineer, who looks over his shoulder at you and shrugs. So-called Emperor Norton, you're under arrest for the crime of being a total ass. That's not illegal. It is when I am in town. Everybody grab him, except you, Mr. Engineer. I can see you're busy driving the train. Righto. Actually, if you could turn around and head back to Frisco at the next station, that'd be great. No problem. Go. This isn't over. You haven't heard the last of me. Tell it to the judge, Norton. The prison judge. It's your partner. We made it. We got all the way west. Sure did. Looks like we're in the home stretch now. Home stretch? Heck, there's always one last quest, you know that. Ah, right. Well, we can't do that one, unfortunately. You did it. Thanks, boss. No problems. We got the track laid right up to the station now. The first ever cross-territory railroad, thanks to the Manifest Destiny Railroad Company. And principally you. You did a good job, Lena Tumbleweed. Oh, shucks. Don't mention it. This was a one-way train, so there's no sense in going in there now. The metal tramp. Yep, the good old bronze ram. The old tin elephant. Yep, the good old steaming buffalo. Ooh, what was new in our journal? Ooh, there's a new show at the Flying Okay. So yeah, that's just that. So, now playing the final cutscene. Looks like somebody on that train got a job as a projectionist. Would you like to watch this movie? It's free because movies have only recently been invented and nobody has figured out that they can charge for them yet. Note, doing this will not change anything about the world or your character. When the cutscene is over, you'll still be right here and you can keep playing if you want. Yeah, show me the final cutscene. Some folks say, endings don't matter. But other folks, they like to know how things turn out. The consequences of their actions, like. With the trains running again, Frisco thrived. People came from all over to seek their fortunes. But, thanks to you, they didn't have to do it while on fire because some cow attacked their wagon. Hey, bustling Frisco. With the railroad completed and Norton ousted, Smee found himself out of a job, but in of an opportunity. After being elected mayor, he managed the growth and infrastructure of Frisco with compassion and pragmatism. In 1944, Frisco was named Most Reasonable City by the Tuesday Evening Post. Gladio, it's the final cutscene. Da 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 da. The final cutscene. Aw, Smee. Dissatisfied with the thought of returning to her old life in Boring Springs, Doc Alice opened a free clinic in Frisco and lived out the rest of her days as a practicing doctor. Frisco's loose moral atmosphere and the opening of a mercury mine a ways down the peninsula meant she stayed too busy to worry much, most days. The clinic was so important to Frisco's eventual counterculture movement that a popular song was written about it. The refrain was, "You can get rid of anything you want at Alice's clinic." Well, that's catchy. Yep, line all the way down the street. In case anyone didn't see that, we got an achievement saying, "What's up, Doc?" After she finished getting the bakery boys up and running, Louise moved to Frisco and opened her own shop specializing in artisanal breads and pies. Aww. Thanks to your assistant, Hobart Buppet got the photography bug, or should I say, the photography owl. Anyway, he opened up an art gallery so the citizens of Frisco would never again have to suffer from the inability to see pictures of owl skeletons whenever they wanted. Cool. Bit morbid, but cool. Kurtz left the fort and set up shop in Frisco. His fitness group skyrocketed in popularity. The growth was entirely due to word of mouth, because the first rule of Kurt's Fit is that you cannot stop talking about Kurt's Fit. Kurt's till it hurts. Oh. No Kurt's pain, no Kurt's gain. The performers Yacenda Dirtwater formed the greatest band in the history of music. The perfect union of percussion, strings, and technology, they immediately secured their place in the cultural history of Loathing. Their songs were innovative, their stage presence was spectacular, and the liner notes on their albums were extremely clever and interesting. They called themselves the Aristocrats. Or, you know, insert your favourite High Noon Over Camelot song here. I'm not sure we're going to find out the answer to that question, Bicycle Worship, within the parameters of this game, alas. No, Sharkle, I didn't just put the mechs in this game. Whatever could you mean? You solved all of Breadwood's problems. With the increase in morale and civic resources, they were able to clear the weeds from the road and fix the well and the broken hitching post. There was even enough left over to give the mayor's office a new coat of paint, refresh the facade on the Buttery Biscuit, and add a second story to the bunkhouse. They even managed to get that horse into rehab. Oh yeah, the drunk horse that was wandering down the street. His job of garden's curly meat finished. Curly's meat finished. Holloway moved on to the next chapter of his tragic life. You're guessing he'll turn up in another game someday. Well, Joe, that's bleak. Chuck continued to run his blood and breakfast without incident, accident, scandal, or allegation for many years. Well, that's nice. With your help, Roy Bean's Jelly Bean Museum became the talk of the town. Well, first they had to build a town nearby, but once they did, hoo-wee. Roning says the game, Frisco turned out great and everyone is okay. And also the mechs are here, yes. Hey, Jelly Bean Museum! You were remembered as a local hero in Dirtwater. Thanks to your efforts, it became twice the town it was before you got there. They even put a statue of you on the main street. It washed away the first time it rained because they made it out of salt, but still, it's a thought that counts, right? As for you, after your adventure, you settled in Frisco and bought a very long, very narrow house. You filled it with souvenirs of your exploits and started an antique hat rack collection. When you left home, you told Rufus you wanted adventure and excitement. You visited 69 places, nice, on your journey. You're a real gallivanter. Is that a word? Sure it is, you globe-trotting gallivanter, you. Oh, neat. You've got a collection of stoves, hat racks, pallets and things for all the things that you've picked up. I'm guessing if I'd picked up more hats and not sold them, then they would probably end up on the hat rack. We've got toilet. Oh, all mod cons. In 1906, all of the remaining cows in the West were simultaneously activated by some kind of signal from hell. They thundered east, forming a gigantic, single-minded herd. Led by the infernal sadist Duke Bovicus, the cow army thundered east, towards Dirtwater. Ron says, oh, now the mechs are here. Pyroboves, ghost cows, hell cows. Fortunately, a gang of rodeo clowns swept in at the last minute and slaughtered the herd just before it reached Dirtwater. Unfortunately, all of the townsfolk of Dirtwater had a hard time sleeping for pretty much the rest of their lives. Seriously, it was a grisly sight. 420 years later, deep beneath the ground, ancient machines silently stopped doing the thing they were built to do. It's probably fine. You and everyone you know are dead by then, and most of humanity has moved to space. Still though, it's a shame about the planet. There were some cool bars there. Is that a Douglas Adams reference? Hey, duck cakes. The El Vibrato. So, say, this is one of the storylines that I did off camera, but didn't actually complete it. Thank you for playing. Aww. Well, that was very sweet. I really liked that, and I really enjoyed playing that through with all of you. So just oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I'm going to skip past that because I saw a name in there that I really wish I didn't. Good number of beta testers. Good for naming their beta testers. That's a... So yes, if you did enjoy this, you can actually play a free version based in the kind of same universe or along the same pun-based thing. It's called Kingdom of Loathing at kingdomofloathing.com. So what we might do is, because it doesn't actually kick us out, we can probably go back at some point and clean up a couple of things if we if I grind a bit more. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit out of this for now. Let's go back to the main menu. Quit that. So so what did we learn from that game? I mean, obviously we've been going through that for something like 7 or 8 sessions. And I hope you, I mean, those of you who've been here through the whole thing, I hope you enjoyed that. So for a game like that, it's relatively there is the DLC actually, Evil Auntie. That is true. I might come back and that might be a good reason to come back and
Great
revisit this
playthrough,
game
Anil.
at a later stage. Thank you very much. Are you here for the 100 bits? Saying great playthrough. Oh, thank you. What did we learn? Says Faylora, make puns at every opportunity. Indeed, if you like bad puns, or let's not call them bad. If you like puns, oh wow, thank you very much, Molietsu, for giving 5 subs to the community. So welcome to the channel, Jojo Kojo, Daily Show Chica, Angel Fire VT, Hollis Hayworth, and Kazieka, courtesy of Molietsu. Daily Show Chica says it was so much fun. You bought it for desktop and for Switch. Oh wow, it's on the Switch. I didn't realise that. So yes, we've learnt that like something so simple, and it's a stick figure humor RPG that you might not necessarily think has a lot of depth, but a lot of love and a lot of care went into a game like this, and it gives us a chance for making a lot of fun out of ourselves. Like we turned it basically into a set of radio plays with all the voicing and and the adventures that we come along with. There is a lot of side quests you can do in order to before you even get anywhere near the final battle, the final boss fight, as it were. And there's still plenty of things that we left undone. There were like side quests and things we didn't do anything with. We didn't really complete the cultist line. We didn't complete the El Vibrato line. As I say, we didn't really complete the necromancer line, but that's because unfortunately the game gated that at a certain level that we weren't able to do given the restrictions that we imposed on ourselves. So yeah, bicycle worship, that's a really good point. Stripped down games leave a lot of room for you to have your own fun in, and I think that is very much a good point. And you can tell a good story without hyper realistic visuals. Yes, really think this is a very good example of what you can do when you don't necessarily have AAA budget. When you have a lot of imagination and a lot of love for a genre, that you want to be a good a good parody of it, because the people here obviously love adventure games, love RPGs, love the stick figure art style. They love parody, and we're talking about like parody in the very classic sense of the term, where you are very gently lampooning the material that you are paying homage to at the same time. Like many of us will be familiar with like the old style spaghetti westerns that this setting is trying to emulate, and the various tropes and things that have come out of that. Hollywood, there are a lot of like Hollywood tropes that play through in terms of the characterizations and the storyline settings. I mean, The Hunt for Curly's Gold effectively was a parody film in of itself. Was it City Slickers 2? And there were all of those sorts of things that come into it. Evil Auntie said, a loving parody is so much better than a cruel parody. Yeah, there were no outright digs at things. Okay, it didn't quite get tone right in a couple of places, and there are a few things which they wouldn't be written the same way today as they were then. Nibbling 3 says, when I was at uni we developed the ketchup packet scale of bad punning, which was based on how many ketchup packets you wanted to throw at the pun maker. Good scale. Lovingly making fun of things in a way that people are comfortable with. And at no point did I get the feeling that this was a mean game, that none of the jokes were being made at the expense of somebody. Obviously, use of language and such, there were one or two points I do remember that we had a few issues with the way that it was language and the presentation. But on the whole, for a game like this that could have been a whole lot worse in that respect, because it's very easy to kick down. And this, I mean, this comes back to the whole ethos of comedy. And if you apologise to Soapbox for a moment, given that it is a topic that is very relevant in the UK at the moment, given the Director General of the BBC and his recent pronouncements on the nature of comedy on the channel, on the network, being too left-leaning, whatever that really means. Good comedy should punch up. It shouldn't punch down. And this is, again, this is very much the ethos of Quantum Leopard. So those of you who are familiar with James Ross from RQ Gaming or from Dungeons and Leopards, and a brief plug here, I was on Dungeons and Leopards last week. You can still catch the VOD for that last Sunday over at twitch.tv/Quantum Leopard if you want to see me playing some D&D, or at least playing some D&D with heavy inverted commas. What Bryn says, comedy that punches down is just bullying. Yeah. And, you know, we've all seen too much of that to be comfortable with it. I think what we got. We've been going for an hour and a half. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another peppermint tea, refresh my drinks. If everyone gets up, stretches, hydrates, takes their meds if necessary. When we come back, I'll have a ponder about what we can do over the break. And when we come back, we'll do something for maybe another half an hour or so. I'll have a think about what we can do. So yes, let's take us to a break, and I will see you back here very shortly. Hello, welcome back everyone. How are we all doing? Did you manage to grab yourselves new drinks and whatnot? I have picked up some peppermint tea with honey, because one thing these games usually do is take things out of me somewhat vocally. Yeah. Right. How are we all doing, folks? Oh. Plants and Bee says, "Hey, Anil, would you be up for some karaoke redeeming?" I wouldn't be averse. People who do have channel points, we have been absent karaoke for a little bit. I wouldn't be averse to a couple of karaoke pieces that we can do perhaps a little bit later on if you want to queue them up. Quick reminder for anybody who hasn't been here. Oh, Pump Shanty. Well, Pump Shanty we can actually play the music for, since it isn't going to get caught on DMCA. Remember that a lot of things will be because we can't play the music for them because they could get caught by the DMCA takedown. Some things will be a cappella only. But while we do that, I was thinking we'd go for a bit of an AMA for a bit. Just because I don't really feel like loading anything new up right now. I'll tell you a little bit about what's coming up on the channel in the next week, and if people have any questions that they want to ask me. Do I actually have a mod in chat? I don't know if I do. Hey, Purple Almonds, welcome. You've caught us at the end of having completed West of Loathing, and yes, for anyone tuning in just now, we have completed the game that we were intending that we were playing. Just wondering. I know Trot was here earlier. Okay, it'll just have to be a be a case of me seeing what questions pop up in chat then. I'll probably do a proper AMA on one of my streams at a later date, so more people who would be interested in that can make sure that they can make it along. But while I'm queuing up... right, okay. Hello? Yep. I don't know why this OBS plays up sometimes and decided to switch all my mics off. I've probably got to do a bit of an overhaul on OBS at some point. That's probably going to be useful. Okay. OBS went Anil rest. Yeah, possibly. Questions. Feel free to shove them in chat. I cannot promise that I will see all questions, but I will do my best to catch things as we go along. Let's just settle in for a bit of a chill afternoon here while I sip my tea. Yeah, Molly, so it wouldn't be Twitch without at least a few tech jollies. Twitch fears the threat of all mech songs being requested for karaoke. Possibly. Oh yes, I was going to talk about what's coming up next on my streams. Shy Magpie holds that question. So what's coming up next on RQ streams? So Saturday, what's the next RQ stream? So Saturday, Mike and April will be back with Fall Guys. I think they're planning on basically doing controller swap. So Mike plays one game, April plays one game. And we will see how chaotic it gets. Anybody who tuned in last weekend for either the birthday stream or the War Thunder stream will appreciate that it might not be all serene and calm on the Saturday stream again. So coming up next week, we've actually got a pretty full week next week. So on Tuesday, Tessa will be back with us. Folks may remember that Tessa was playing Neversong. I think that was what it's called. But she will be back this week with I think it's a game from a year or two ago called Pikuniku, which I know is one that has been requested by folks on the Discord. And I didn't say anything but at that point. But yes, Tessa will be here playing Pikuniku on Tuesday evening. I believe that's going to kick off around 8 p.m. BST because Tessa is one of our US employees. Wednesday, I will be back. Next week is actually very much a mixed bag, actually. Next week, I am going to be playing the prologue of Pico Nico. No, but, Charcoal, bear that in mind. Next week, I'm going to be playing the prologue to a game called Backbone. The game isn't out yet, but it's a... Oh, I've just realised it's got a lot of hallmarks of The Wolf Among Us, in that it is a narrative noir game where you are animals. Um, uh, and I've just realised I don't think it is going to be anywhere near as heavy as The Wolf Among Us. Actually, why am I wearing my headphones? I don't need to listen to anything right now. I'll need it for when we do the karaoke bit, but I don't need it immediately. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. I'll just read what make you cry, probably. Also, Anil, The Wolf Among Us. Yeah, that's fair, Bonanza. I don't know. I've not heard of Black Sad. Actually, that's an interesting one, Adri. Drop me a message on the Discord or such. Let me remind me of that name, and I'll look into it. Yeah, the curls are super fluffy. Anybody who saw my Twitter this morning, I posted a couple of pictures of my hair just as I came out of the shower. And I was trying to tame it back. Black Sad's a beautiful graphic novel. So yeah, that's me next Wednesday. Next Saturday, Mike is taking a variety day for his stream and going to look at a couple of different small indie games to give you a overview of like some smaller games that you might like the looks of. Just try and showcase like a bit of a mixed bag dip. And then next Sunday, noon, I believe, as the misspelling that whether or not that was an intentional or otherwise misspelling from Charcoal, Nico will be making his debut. Nico Vitesi, one of our editors. If We Talks of Dreams is still in chat, that is who Nico is. Nico will be here playing Lumino City for his debut stream with us. Charcoal says, I did not intend to drag Nico. No. So yes, Nico will be here with that. I will almost certainly be here as a mod for that stream. So yeah, it's a 4-stream week from us next week. Shy Magpie, I believe it was you who had a question about RQ streams at Halloween. There's nothing in the diary as yet for Halloween, but we do want to, because if I remember correctly, let me just check the calendar. Yeah, October the 31st is a Saturday, which means Mike will be streaming, and Mike and I have had a couple of discussions about what we want to do on that day. So there almost certainly will be probably some spooky themed content for Halloween. And I mentioned it last week, and I know patrons have been made aware of this, but for anyone who isn't a patron, stay tuned for the 31st. Tell him he has to dress up. He has to dress up. I will tell him that, and we will see how that goes. I suddenly lost my train of thought there. 31st of October, we have got a new merch offering planned for that day. So, if you are a fan of spooky things, and particularly spooky things Rusty Quill related, then do tune in on that Saturday to see what we have in store for you. Mollyetsu says we could both dress up as Alex, the most fearsome RQ boss man. I'm sure I could find a suit. Spooky Quill, yes. Anybody got anybody got another question? Rusty Spook. Ooh, Rusty Spook sounds good. Maybe we can get April to do a new a one-off logo. That might be really interesting. Let me make a note of that, chat. The notebook. Sheep goat Mike. I think Mike can probably stretch to something a little more elaborate than a sheet with holes cut in it. Bryn says Halloween game suggestion Until Dawn. Is that a zombie game? Thing is. Oh, actually, yes. Duck cakes. No, it doesn't. It's, and actually this is a point. We probably, given the problematic usage of that word in US language, it doesn't quite have the same history in the UK as it does in the States. But it is probably a good idea if we avoid the use of that word as a noun. In relation to things. Okay, yeah, I can imagine in southern US, it might hit a lot closer to home, and for which I do apologise. Evil Auntie says, I remember Alex or someone saying you've won Vogon poetry contest. Could we ever see some of that excellent material with more serious poetry? I will dig out some more of my poetry. I have done a couple of poetry AMAs in the past. I have won. Well, I've not won a Vogon poetry contest. I've come second in two. Love to hear some poetry. I don't actually have any on this computer, and at the current time, I don't remember any of my poetry well enough off the top of my head to recite it. You can actually go on YouTube and find a video of me performing at the Whippersnapper Press launch, where I did a couple of pieces, and that is still up on YouTube, I do believe. But yeah, just talking about Vogon poetry. So my friend Hannah, who is a fantastic poet, I do thoroughly recommend you go and check her out. That's Hannah Hutzpah. I can't remember what her Twitter handle is. I think it's much the same. But if you look her up on YouTube, you'll be able to find pieces and such. She's a wonderful poet who does a lot of pieces about particularly feminism and mental health. One of her collections is called Sign My Citalopram, which is a lovely collection of works. She's done Edinburgh a couple of times and got massive reviews for those. But she ran an imprint briefly, ran for a couple of years, called Whippersnapper Press, for which I did a little bit of work, and I was a contributing editor for. But one of the things Whippersnapper Press did was run Vogon poetry slams on Towel Day each year. Towel Day being the anniversary of... is it the anniversary of his death or is it his birthday? I can't quite remember. But it's around April the 25th. So everyone had their audience. Oh, yes. Category is still West of Loathing. You see, I remembered that at the break and then completely forgot to do so when I came back. Let me change the stream category to just chatting. There we go. OBS, we are going to have some words after this. Um, So yes, let me go over that again. For those who don't know, Vogon poetry, as per Douglas Adams, is the second worst poetry in the universe, and hearing it will make you want to basically tear your own ears off and stab yourself with them. The concept of a Vogon poetry slam is that you either write a very good bad poem, a poem that is designed to be intentionally bad, or you is Anil your audio the equivalent to Mike your bones? Probably at this stage. Or you basically do like silly humorous poetry in the style of Douglas Adams, effectively. So the first one I did a handful of poems based around games. I think I wrote. So these were humorous. This was comic poetry based around games. One of which was based on Tetris. Yes, poetry version of Grifter's Bone. Yes, that is basically what Vogon poetry is supposed to be, in the context of Douglas Adams, or in the context of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. In the context of an actual poetry slam, they tend to be a little bit more listenable. So I should probably try writing a Grifter's poem. And there is actually a difference between Vogon poetry, or like the kind of poetry that gets done at a Vogon slam, and anti-poetry, but that's a different line to go down, possibly at a later date. So yeah, I wrote a poem about Tetris from the point of view of like a little a character inside the game trying to move the blocks around. Poetry for gamers. Yeah. Actually, if you want poetry for gamers, two good people to look up are Dan Simpson and Mark Grist. Although their gaming-related stuff is probably a lot older, so I don't know if you'll be able to find any of it online. Charcoal, yes, the Poetry Workshop stream is up on YouTube. I still need to do the other two parts of that, actually. Because we did the horror poetry one, but I still need to do like bardic poetry and sci-fi poetry. I need to find some slots in the stream calendar to do that. Anyway, I keep digressing. So the other poem I did on that night, and I think is the main reason why I came second, is I wrote a poem about Mornington Crescent. Now, for people who aren't British comedy fans of a particular age, or Radio 4 listeners, Mornington Crescent is a game that is played on a Radio 4 show called I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. And the principle of the game is that the contestants take it in turns to move around London in order to get to Mornington Crescent, said location being a station on the northern line of our underground system, and it has a kind of hallowed place in British comedy. The rules are very simple, depending on which rule set you are using. Like Holland Park 2000 is a very, very straightforward rule set. If you're using something like, I don't know, Kensal Rise 84, or I don't know, there was a really obscure one like Pimlico 72. The rules go through a lot of revisions, and there are various like different aficionados will say, this rule set was better than any. But yeah. Yeah, if under a standard rule set, Morning Crescent is you take it in turns to make your way through London to the fabled location. So I did a poem about that, which I really like, and I will probably perform it again if I can find it, because I do appear to have lost a large chunk of my work, or at least the hard drive that it was on. Either has gone missing or has died. I can't quite remember which. And the second one, the second Vogon Slam I did about 2 years later was I wrote a poem about Star Trek. I wrote a poem which basically started, "Oh Captain, my Captain," and was talking about Jean-Luc Picard, and I tried to fit as many Star Trek Next Generation titles into the poem as I could, or rather, I tried to fit 42 episode titles into the poem, which I managed with a certain degree of shoehorning. And again, I don't know where I have a copy of that poem. I actually did perform that at the Nine Worlds Geek Festival in... When was that? I did 2016, I think it was. Because I performed there 2016, 2017. I didn't perform 2018 because I was running games. But yes, I do... Oh yes, Niblick 3. The Humphrey Little Memorial Rules, obviously, really good for that. Non-binary Star Systems, as I found my poetry notebook from when I was 14 to 16 last month. The rereading it was... I know I've got some old school work, which has poems from when I was, I think, between 16 and 18, because I did an English literature A level, and I did a creative writing module as part of it. And one of the things was I had to write. I wrote part of that coursework was writing a sonnet sequencer, and I did it on fantasy novels that I enjoyed. And I know that still exists somewhere at my parents' house. Octopus Gallery says, I recycled all of my high school stuff and it was so freeing. Yeah, I'm a hoarder of paper. I find it very difficult to throw paper away. And even though, like, all my university notes and such are out of date, and if I really wanted to know that information, I can just look things up because I know how to Google academic things. I still can't bring myself to throw a lot of it away. And this is where I've got like tendencies from my dad, because my dad is a huge hoarder. And I know that I share some of those tendencies, which is a little bit on the worrying side. Sharko says, I've been reading some of my fanfiction TTRPG character writings I did back when. Now I wish I was still doing that. I mean, same. I haven't written any fanfiction in ages. I've got to get rid of my A-level stuff now. I know I'm into uni and almost cried, says Rowan Twig. Yeah, I probably still have some bits of my A-level notes hanging around somewhere. Again, I don't know where everything is because all my stuff is actually split between... currently between 2 locations. At one point it was split between 3. And potentially 4 even. No, I've only ever had my stuff in like 3 different locations. Number 3, I found it very easy to throw away all my lecture notes, but anything I actually wrote, I find again. Like, I'm sure I've got all of my old like AD&D second ed and third ed character sheets somewhere, because I used to keep them meticulously when I was playing. Evil Auntie says, ooh, what fandoms did you write for, if it's okay to ask? So two main fandoms I wrote for. I wrote for Buffy, in particular, and I understand now. I understand now better why this pairing that I wrote is problematic. But so the pairing I wrote a couple of pieces for was Spike Xander for that, and the other one is Agents of Shield, mostly season 1, which for which I was a Fitzward shipper. Plants and Bees, how was it so easy to post so years ago? Oh, I didn't post any of the stuff that I wrote when I was at uni and such, because fanfiction.net existed. There were a whole bunch of individual sites which collated Buffy fanfic, because obviously while the show was on, it was a very prevalent fandom, and so there were a lot of different sites related to the various pairings and such. USCL, yeah, UCSL, right? Yes. But I never actually posted any of my stuff. I didn't actually post anything until the AO3 era, and early AO3, yeah, which is actually pretty late in the terms of things. But yes. It was a very wild time back then. Yeah, I was never an MLP fan. It's not a show that I ever really watched. Brenanza, I am not telling you. Or at least I'm not telling you on stream. Because that way lies a whole bunch of issues. So yeah, that is my history of fanfic. I do actually have a poem called "I Was a Teenage Fanfic Writer," which, if I can find the revisions to it, because that's a poem that's undergone a lot of changes over the years. I will perform it at some time, possibly in Discord VC. I know I've done it before. I just need to find the file. So, any other questions? Non-binary substances, I do miss. I do kind of miss when posting it with starting a thread and all the comments and updates were mashed together. Had to throw off. I mean, live journal fanfic posting is a bit like that still. Salita Matonic. The number of started fics, and actually it's not just fanfic. The amount of writing I have started and not finished or not got anything more than like 3 or 4 pages into, despite having really good, or at least what I thought at the time were really good ideas, is endless. Like so many folders of half-started pieces of work. Abandoned works in progress. Yeah. Very much so. I mean, yeah, technically MySpace, I mean, how much of MySpace still exists? I don't know, actually. Any plans for more non-game streams, cooking, poetry, that sort of thing? So, Shy Magpie, yes, I would like to. I mean, I said when I did the first poetry workshop, I would like to kind of like complete one for each show. So we've done horror poetry for the Magnus Archives. I was going to do a look at bardic poetry, or like bardic song for RQ Gaming, and I was going to look at sci-fi poetry for Stella Firma. I need to find a space in the stream calendar for that. It was a lot easier when it was just Mike and me on the to schedule. What about other streams? Stay tuned for September. Oh God, we're in September already. Stay tuned to later in the month because we are trying out a bunch of new things and collaborations on RQ stream. So shh, don't tell Mike I was telling you about this. Secrets. I hope Mike's not in chat actually. There is definitely a cooking stream planned for later in the month. I'm not going to tell you more about that just yet, but do bear in mind it is something that people have asked for. Sorry, what, Molly? Sorry, Mollyetsu, I found out recently that ICQ was still a thing. ICQ has survived? Oh my lord. I'm like that genuinely shocks me, because ICQ was the instant messenger system that was in use pretty much all through my uni years. I cannot remember my ICQ number. I definitely can't. I'm not even sure I would be able to find it out again, but oh my lord. That's really funny actually. What is ICQ? ICQ is an instant messenger system. It was in an era when your two options realistically were ICQ or Windows or MSN Messenger. Oh. Folks, you remember MSN Messenger? Yeah, Ames' grandpa. Oh. No, we can't quite do GBBO, unfortunately, Adri. That would require us to be able to be in the same place. So we're not going to try a RQ Bake Off just yet. I think it was a bit pre-MSN. Oh, maybe, yeah. Actually, yeah, because I know I was using... to be fair, I was still using MSN in like 2010, 2011. But yeah, ICQ was... Oh wow, IRQ Conflict, you're still on IRC. Like, massive applause, actually. I never really used IRC. It wasn't really my sort of thing, as I say. I was kind of I was a late adopter of the internet because I didn't have it home until I was 16. And even then, it was mostly dial-up off whatever freebies my dad was able to catch, 30 days use or, 30 hours of use out of with a dial-up modem. I was using ICQ 98 to 2002, really. I only really used it at university, yeah. Yes, of course, Usenet is still around as well. Anil, did you use Habbo for us flawless people? No. I was not on Habbo at all. Actually, for a really good song, there's a really good piece of musical comedy about MSN Messenger by the musical comedian Jay Foreman. So I would suggest you can go Again, it should be on YouTube. I don't know how much of his back catalogue is still on there. Because obviously in these current times, people aren't performing very much. And he has actually got a really good series about geography. He's very knowledgeable about transport systems in particular. If you are looking for something interesting like a Hold to Fall Down on YouTube, I strongly would recommend going up looking Jay Foreman, Jayforeman. Both really good musical comedy and some really informative transport videos, if that's your sort of thing. Yeah, let's not talk about chat roulette. Yeah. That's yeah, don't think we want to really fall down that kind of hole. So any other questions? Yeah, not safe for anything. I mean, obviously, as a platform and as a piece of technology, it's the precursor to a lot of video messaging things that happen these days in a similar vein. But yeah. 20 out of 20. Yes, the cow badges are new. They are subscriber badges for how long you have been subscribed to our channel, courtesy of April. Like all of our channel art, the wonderful Vera Ray art. And you can see if you're on desktop, there is a panel down below which tells you what color badge you will get at which month subscriptions. Oh, Tiny Chat Hangouts, Tumblr use. Oh, jeez, we're really delving into the past of the internet here, which is, as I say, digital anthropology is a really interesting topic, and obviously, I mean, Lydia is much more familiar about these sorts of things than I am. But just the concept of where we are going. And how we are, collating our online experiences and our online presences is just super interesting, I think. Particularly for folks who have never known not being on the internet. I mean, we're talking, folks who are, post 2000. Lifestyles where it's just so ingrained into our consciousness and to our everyday lives. Obviously, the caveat being for those who have the ability to access it. So we're talking about the privileged class of one axis of privilege where you are able to access the internet on a regular and consistent basis. LimeWire. Oh, if we're talking about music services, so things, LimeWire, Napster, Kazaa, Audio Galaxy. These were all services that were extant when I was at university. And the wild days of music file sharing. Molly says, feeling on my first browser was text-only links because my 300 BPS moment cut out. Oh, geez. I mean, I was using... what were we using at home? AOL Explorer. Links. Yeesh. The very early Netscape edition, like Netscape 1, I think we had at school. Nibbling 3, I had to explain to my younger brother what dial-up noise was. Ooh. That is very definitely a mood. In my entire village, the only place with internet was the library, and I'm guessing they saw a lot. Yeah. Almost certainly. Lynx is still a good browser. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not familiar. Like, it was never one that I really used. I know I have used it. Yeah. Internet on a CD disc combination of random. Yes, Barach. Very much so. um, 611 says it still baffles me how quickly in technology has evolved. Yes, really has. Like the leaps and bounds in like chip technology. Yeah. When I mean, I talked a little bit about this right back at the start of our Q streams when Mike and I were going through our gaming histories. But the first computer I had to, in inverted commas, call my own was an Amstrad CPC 6128 when I was... How old would I have been? When I was 12, 13. And that was a top-of-the-line machine for its time because it had 128 kilobytes of RAM. And a 3.5 inch floppy drive attached to it by default. Barrack says basically all of us at Rusty Quill are doing jobs that didn't exist when we were born. And that's actually, you're really right there. There are very few times in human history where that's been an option. And I think you're right there. Like, there's probably... like the rapid technological growth in the Industrial Revolution and during the Renaissance are probably other times where that has happened. But yeah, like there is no way that I would have gathered or even guessed that, like, even when I was a teenager, that I would be in charge of communications for a podcasting company because podcasting did not exist. That's a really sobering thought, actually. Like, it's an amazing thing, but yes, like so many of our jobs are internet dependent these days. That it's and were created by the internet. That the concept of a community manager would have even been novel at the time. In any sense of managing the fan base or managing people who enjoyed the things that you produced. Oh, hang on. Yeah, my phone. I should probably have muted my phone. Let's put that on thing. Um, 2020, it's so very fascinating how exponentially the modern internet creation works. Yes, like the world is a lot smaller place than when I was a kid. We talk of dreams. So Nico says a +1 about podcasting not exist. It gathered momentum just as he started his composing and editing career. I mean, I've worked in... I haven't actually had that many jobs. Really. But when I was a teenager, when I was doing my GCSEs and A levels, my life plan, as it was, such as it was back then, was that I would be a career scientist, and university very quickly disabused me of that notion. But it was what I had planned to do. 20 says, video killed the radio star, but the internet brought it back. I love that line. That's a really nice line, actually. I miss my chunky pink flip phone, says Bicycle Worship. I had a flip phone. I think I had a knockoff Motorola Razr. No, I think I actually had a Motorola Razr. What it says is watch the science. Here is a cautionary tale, folks. So I went to university thinking I was going to be a chemist. Chemistry was what I wanted to do. It was probably the subject I was strongest at school. And when I got to uni, I ended up doing more biological science. And obviously I didn't do very well at university. I ran into a whole bunch of issues because that's where my mental health issues got diagnosed. And I ended up dropping out I basically ended up dropping out 1 year and had to repeat. Which is why I graduated a year later than I ought to have done. I came out with a generalized biological sciences degree, effectively. Well, I came out with a general science degree, but most of it was biological based. But I had really gone on the intention that I was going to be a chemist of some kind. Yeah, higher education does have a habit of exasperating health issues. There was a lot of things happened to me at uni, that have influenced my life path beyond just the educational. I talked a little bit. I mean, actually, I didn't talk a lot about this last week, but some of the issues that cropped up in the final episode of The Wolf Among Us were doors that opened, or doors that I headed towards when I was at university, and that's where I got. I mean, it was those issues that ended up with a diagnosis of acute depression at the time, and why I ended up taking my second year out. Yeah, I had a mental breakdown when I was 19. And that has affected me and my career prospects since then. If I wasn't doing this job, I honestly don't know what I would be doing. It's strange. We're getting a bit down the heavy times, as we did with Lee. But this is really interesting. This goes to show we have a lot of different personalities here on RQ streams, but there is a lot that we have in common, and a lot of actually, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I am going with that thought, so apologies. I am not going to finish them. Cool. What time is it? It's coming 7:43. Okay. Anyone have another question that they'd like to ask? Barry says, just remember, when one door closes, another one opens. This is bad advice for making cabinets, unless you are deliberately going for that. Jory, appreciate the kind of people who will talk. Yeah, look, I mean, being reticent, being closed off, treating these topics as taboo helps no one. Obviously, I can only talk about this from my personal perspective and my interactions with conditions and such. But if that is helpful in any way, if that provides another experience, another facet on the the roller coaster that is life, and the varying presentations of mental health, then I will try and be as open and as and offer what I can. Yes, Brunanza redeemed comfort crew time. So yes, here is Crochet Hamid. What do you think? Flawless Poop says, has a question. How did you end up with this job for RQ? Oh, that's interesting. So let me think. How did I end up with this job? I'm just trying to remember time frames here. So in RQ started, or at least RQ put out its first episodes in June of 2015. 2015, I was living in Paris with my ex, but I was still coming back. I was still coming backwards and forwards to London on a relatively frequent basis, and I think it was on one of those trips back, probably later in the year of 2015, that I was at I was in the pub with Bryn and Alex and a few other people for our regular games night, and I was just chatting to Alex about how things were going with Rusty Quill, and if there was an opportunity that I would be interested in, potentially pitching a show, like being involved as a writer or something like that. But Alex wasn't really looking for new shows, or rather, I didn't really have any strong show ideas at the time. But Alex did ask if I would be interested in handling the social media accounts for Rusty Quill, because at the time social media was handled by a guy called Stefan, who is another friend of Alex's, and also technically by Lydia and by Bryn. I think there were quite a few people who had access to the Rusty Quill Twitter account at the time. Oh, Brendan. Okay. Oh, no, Bryn. You got involved when we set up the forums. Yes, that was it. Or were the forums, or did the forums already exist at that point, and you were notionally in charge? I can't quite remember actually. Nico says, "Do not trust me ever with the RQ Twitter." Don't worry, Nico. I am not. You are not getting access to that. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Bryn ran the forums at the time, and so January of 2016. So I moved back to the UK at the end of 2015, partly because my sister was getting married at the beginning of 2016, but also like my ex and I were. It was we were having a bit of a rocky patch, and things weren't quite working out in Paris, at least as far as the living situation went. And yeah, as Bryn says, in the early days, Alex had less than zero resources. Alex funded the company out of his pocket, basically at the start. I mean, most people who enter podcasting, particularly people who were entering podcasting at that time, you had to self-fund. There really wasn't any other way. So it was all done by seeing which friends were able to be helpful. Yeah. Alex asked me if I wanted to if I wanted to be involved with the social media side of Rusty Quill and just kind of like unify it all. So I said yes, and I started that role at the beginning of 2016. And from there, it just kind of spiraled. Pun not intended, but you know. And yeah, we were all working for free at the time, but you know, it's the way things are, and you wouldn't want to start that way now. Yeah, we all trusted in Alex, and we knew as soon as there was going to be any money, it would be shared properly. But getting to that point where you can monetize a show is really difficult. And those early days were very much none of us had worked in audio. None of us had really worked in entertainment. Alex was the only one who came to us who had any kind of like direct experience in what would be tentatively called the industry. And we were existing and like flying on a wing and a prayer, really. It was all very heady days. And none of us expected that we would be here 5 years later. I mean, it was difficult to even see that, you know, Rusty Quill Gaming might be running 5 years down the line. Yeah, is it even nepotism if it's the only resources you have available? I mean, that's a difficult question to ask. That's a difficult question to answer. I would say probably not. I mean, you were utilizing the thing provided you set it up correctly. I mean, if it's the sort of thing where it becomes cronyism after a while, you know, at the point where you are setting up and becoming, you know, viable as a company, yeah, and it turns into cronyism, then yes, then it is a problem. But yeah, at the start of things,
Gaming 2025.
Most companies and most audio productions that you see, like many of your favorites, will be operating on these, or will have started off operating on these. Yeah, thank you very much. Are you here for the 100-bit thing, Rusty Quill Gaming 2025? I'm going to quickly put us on break while I go and grab another drink because my throat is getting a little bit dry. I will be back in like 2 minutes, chat. I'm not going to bother putting the music on, but I'll be back in like 2 minutes. And we're back very quickly. So Bryn's explaining how Rusty Quill got his name, because I don't know that. I actually still don't really know that. So Alex sent a suggested list of names to the people initially involved, so that would be the original RQ Gaming cast and a couple of people behind the scenes. Bryn says, I maintain I was the one who pushed for Rusty Quill hard from the very start. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, it is. That's a very kind comment for you to say. Those are Campbell novels on the top shelf of the art. April got a lot of nice in-jokes into the into that break screen. We were really pleased with it. One of the popular original suggestions was Fade to Bleak, which you felt would have massively constrained the kind of stuff we made. I think that's right. I think that's a really good point. Did it end up getting used for a casual violence show? Ooh. I think it did, yeah. So Alex must have taken that and given it to casual violence, which is interesting. I think I saw. So I saw there was a question about how was that? So yeah, I mean that's how I started at Rusty Quill, and yeah we we went through a lot of iterations on in terms of like how things were set up in those early days, and there are staff who are no longer with us, who were very heavily involved in the beginning days and in the setup phases of the company. Time to Flip Out says, on the line of different personalities arc here, what will be the spread of introverts to extroverts in your observations in the podcasting career path? To me, it feels a bit more introverted, but I think that's a really difficult question to answer, Time to Flip Out, because I in particular don't necessarily hold with the straight introvert to extrovert binary. I think that there are different types of introvert and different types of extrovert, and there is the you can be one at a given point and another at a different point of your own personal like spoon cycle. So I think that there is a boundary between performers and non-performers in the in podcasting in general. And I think that is possibly a more useful because I personally consider myself as an introvert who likes being around people. I like being around people, and then I like being able to withdraw. I get my energy from different sources depending on the time frame and the mood that I am in. The outgoing introvert, and where you're getting your energy from. And I think that in particular, I pull my energy from different sources. I like performing like this, and I like performing on poetry on stage and things, but it takes me a lot of time and energy to actually work up to doing so. I never really wanted to be an actor, but I did like entertaining people in some fashion, and I knew that I would I really wanted to be involved with words in some way. But again, the concept of being a streamer did not exist when I was a kid. So your options were radio, television, film, and no one is going to hire me to be an actor. That was very clear when I was growing up. I always preferred to be behind the scenes if I was going to do anything on the dramatic side. I harbored vague notions of being a director at some point. And I still would like to try my hand at directing a play. That is something that is very much on my wish list. Structured performance can be very different from having to do something unstructured, like parties. I like parties. I like going to parties and being around my friends. I don't like parties where I don't know that many people. That's my one issue. But parties where I know a majority of people, I am a lot more comfortable with. I mean, obviously, you're with friends and such. But often it was a case of I won't be there for super long unless I really get into it, or I don't think I will be. Sometimes you don't think you'll be very long at a party. You only go for an hour or two and then end up being there the whole evening. I'll keep playing. So, Bryn, keep a pin in the hat. Uh, I would really like to. There have been a lot of like Shakespeare table reads over stream, like during lockdown. I would kind of like us to do one of those. That would be really interesting. I think something that is out of copyright or such. Okay, take care, Nico. But there are other things I am looking at on that front when I get a chance to, because my time is currently very busy. But as Quinn and Autumn are able to take more of the comms tasks off my plate, it will give me more chance to look at things like community rewards and looking at other things that we can offer on Patreon, or looking at other things that we can offer on RQ streams, and working to do more of the big picture stuff that that I really enjoy doing. Quintastic gently hurls Chekhov in direction. Do we really want to do the cherry orchard or something like that? Booker Mac says, what is your favourite flavour kind of lolly? Ooh. The tough questions. Most of my favourite flavours are not found in lolly form, except lemon. Like I will take a lemon lolly over almost anything else. Ice cream wise, I tend to favour things like mint or caramel, almond, those sorts of things. So yeah. Bryn hates Chekhov. Oh no. Bryn doesn't like Brecht either, which I think is a sorry shame. Bryn was in The Importance of Being Earnest a couple of years ago. Then you made a very good. You were very good in that. You were very good in Wild, yeah. As Algernon. Quinn, yes. No, Bryn doesn't like Brecht. If you do, then we are going to get on very well. Then yes, because I do like Brecht. I saw a really good production of Mother Courage at the National Theatre. Oh God, we must be going back like 6-7 years. Oh, you played Jack. Sorry, not Algernon. Yeah, I do apologise. But you were very good in that role. Oh, you wrote a TRPG about Brecht. Quinn, show me that, please. Okay, you got forced to study. Okay, there is a very good premise for being forced to study. Like, I hate Hemingway. I don't think, and that I will firmly blame that as being because it was because Hemingway was an A-level text for me. But no, I saw a really good production of Mother Courage some years back, where they actually had live music from Duke Special as like the itinerant musicians who were following the who were following the army around. Hemingway is objectively rubbish. Yeah. Pinter, yeah. Pinter is good. Sharkle, so many German school kids feel you're on that brain. I know so many people really hating Brecht just because it was at school. Yeah. I'm not sure if... yeah, I thought that was right. I thought, yeah, Bryn doesn't like Beckett either. I've not read or seen any Ionesco actually. Fellow. We do love a spot of Moliere. Oh, you do like Beckett? Okay, sorry, I thought that was. I like it's been a while since we've been to the theatre together. Actually, I really need it's just at the time that I have money again to start going to things. Everything shuts down. It's like, oh god. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Yes, I know Stoppard has a very mixed reputation, but I really like his playwriting. There are lots of really good Stoppard plays. I mean, Arcadia. I mean, I've seen a production of Arcadia which had Tom Stoppard's son in the lead role, which was very good. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern is a really good play. The two that I have not seen a production of, but I really want to, are Dog's Hamlet and Cahoot's Macbeth. I think that those are two very good interconnected pieces that I have never seen a production of, and I've never even seen a production being advertised for them. And I think that is a bit disappointing, because I would really like. I mean, I would love to direct one of those. If you like absurd theatre, you need to read go. Okay, I will put that on the list. I will try and do that if I can. I think you'd be really good in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Arcadia, I don't know how much of it I actually like, or whether it's just because we saw a very good production of it. Time to flip out. Also, it's a place I can find out what MTG cards you have up behind you, or if they're... No, those are magic. Those are my commander decks, and one Highlander deck. You can find out about my decks over on deck stats. Time to flip out. If you're on the RQG, if you're on the Rusty Quill Discord, hit me up in PM, and I will send you a link to my deck stats listings. They are very out of date, and my decks have not been updated since last year. A couple of them have been, because we were still playing in February, but I have done nothing with these since lockdown, and I have a whole bunch of cards that I need to either get or are sitting still in their precons that I need to add to my Night Bites. It's almost certainly not the Highlander you're thinking of, alas. But yeah, hit me up on Discord, and I will send you a link. We've actually gone past 8 o'clock, so I think it's probably about time to round this out with a no, alas, no sword play. And I probably shouldn't be holding a sword. My manual dexterity, although actually, there is a video that I need to see if I can get permission to post. If I can get permission to post it, I will in the Discord, but I need at least 2 people's permission to be able to post it. So that will be a potential secret for you. Elia thinks, have you seen the complete works of William Shakespeare British? No, I have not. So let's round this out. I will probably do a proper AMA with, that's a properly advertised one at some point in the future, probably closer to Christmas. It might be a nice wind down stream to do. But let's see if we can do Pump Shanty by the Mechanism. So, and attribution to the mechanisms here. You can get their you can find out more about them on mechanisms.com, I think, or their band. They've got a Bandcamp where you can pick up their digital CDs from. So Quinn says proposal: Quinn and Anil yell about bread for 3 hours. I would need to read up on a lot of bread because I only know a few bits and pieces that I have seen. Well, I've read a bit and I've seen a few played, but what I've seen I have really liked. So let us see if we can get this. So I've got the music up. We can do that. The audio should come through. So yes, let's round out the stream with a hearty version of Pump Shanty. I'm going to stick the lyrics in chat for anybody who doesn't know them, and give you a chance to pull that up. Is Brinby threatening? Actually, let me grab a little bit more hydration before we start this. I know Coke probably isn't the best hydration, but my water, I forgot to refill my water bottle. Okay. So, let us go with Pump Shanty, which is a track from Once Upon a Time in Space by The Mechanisms. When I once spoke that life at heart is still a joke, but he was not embroiled in smoke, so it's pump me boys before we choke. Pump me boys and let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. The Todd's face, it fires the heart and sets the pace. Whatever time, whatever the place, I'll find him through the depths of space. I'll find him boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. Noyat on my bed with pleasant dreams inside my head, but pumping's all I get instead. I'll only sleep among the dead. This is not the full lyrics. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We might have to start this again. I thought that was a full set of lyrics, but it's not. Where can we find the full lyrics? Aha, here we go. So let's start that one again. This one is from The Mechanisms. Let's take the ones from their website. That is probably wise. And let's start that again, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4. The man that I once spoke, that life at heart is all a joke, but he was not embroiled in smoke, so let's the pump my boy we choke. Pump me boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. Image of my sweetheart's face, it fires my heart and sets the pace. Whate'er the time, whate'er the place, I'll find him through the depths of space. Around to me boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. I long to lie atop my bed with pleasant dreams inside my head, but pumping's all I get instead. I'll only sleep among the dead. Pump me boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. My blood is pooling on the floor, and every second I lose more, but there's so many meds in store, I'll do the work of 3 or 4. Pump me boys, let her fly down to the hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. The engine fumes will scorch your lungs, the air is thick, your eyes are stung, but there's no clean left to run, the pumping business ain't my fun. The boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. The outer hull is shot to hell, the thrust has just one plasma cell. My joints and muscles ache and swell, so fuck the roads and you as well. Pump me boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. A transport mission gone awry, attacked by coal and left to fry, is no excuse boys, let us cry, today is not the day we die. Pump me boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. Pump me boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. Pump me boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. Pump me boys, let her fly down to hell and up to the sky. Bend your backs and break your bones, we're just a million miles from home. I came in early there, so you got 3 editions of that. And thank you very much for that. And I apologise, I can't remember who it was who redeemed that, but I hope that was fun. Thank you very much, Elia. Thanks for the 6-month Twitch Prime resub. Just popping in because I saw we're still streaming. Oh, thank you very much, Elia. Thanks. That's much appreciated. Apologies for the stumbling. I don't know the Mechanism songs as well as I probably ought to. Plants and Bees. Yes, thank you very much for redeeming that. And I will say, if for anyone who is new here, I will try and do a cappella versions of songs if people redeem the karaoke in whatever style I can, even if it's just me listening to the music and singing along. If people do want to request Eurovision songs, you are welcome to. I do ask though, please, if you are going to request Eurovision songs, to keep the lyrics to either English, French or German, as my ability to speak or sing in other languages is a little bit low. Spanish I might be able to do, particularly if it's Spanish or Italian are songs I might be able to do if they're particularly popular ones. But yeah, generally English, French and German I can sing in. Thank you very much, everyone, for being with me this evening. I hope you found that entertaining, and I hope you found the West of Loathing run through interesting. If you're on the RQ Discord, stay tuned to the RQ Streams channel because I will probably put up a link or something like that to see what the next long game that I want to do is. So I've got a couple of options, one of which is Fallout 4. I would like to kind of play through that as a extended play thing, but obviously that's not a short game, especially, and even if we just stick to the main storyline, but that's one option. There's a couple of others. I've got Grim Fandango to try and resume as well. So thank you very much for being with us. If you are new to the channel, please do give us a follow. Hit the heart and follow the channel. It does give us it does help us out immensely, and we are going to try and to do something at 5,000 followers. So I don't know quite what, but we are planning something for that. And actually, Mollyetsu, thank you very much for giving 5 tier 1 gift subs to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Lots of Flizzards, Viper 2K UK, Lightning, 2 Punk Rock for Shul, and Duck Cakes. Welcome to the channel, courtesy of Mollyetsu. You are, that is so generous. Obviously, no obligation or anything to support us here or either on any channel, or like most of our content is free to air and will remain so. But it is very welcome. Thank you. Oh my god, and Viper 2K 2K UK giving out gift subs to 20 I've 20, EJ the Grey, Voidic Soul, Queen Lowell, and Thumpsar. Welcome to the channel, courtesy of Viper 2K. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Viper. It is very much appreciated. So yes, let's you can support us in a number of ways: direct donation by subbing or by joining our Patreon. You can find out more about us at rustyquill.com. So thank you again for indulging me on this stream, and tune in for the rest of RQ streams stuff. As I say, Saturday Mike is here with April and Fall Guys, and then next week we have Tessa with Pikaniku, me with, I keep forgetting the name of the game, me with Backbone, the prologue of that game, Mike with a variety showcase on his Saturday stream, and then Nico on Sunday with Lumino City. So cheers everyone, take a good evening. I am going to go and hydrate and have dinner, and I will see you all around. Take care everyone. Bye.